Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Kooplings. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Nintendo Shack, a proud member of the PSVG Podcast Network. And now that the Shack is back, let us talk all things Nintendo. This week was a huge week. It was E3, Nintendo's big direct. They had a lot to show, and we are excited to get into it. But before we do, let me introduce those that are joining me on this quest. Kevin Austin returns to the Shack. What's up, buddy?
Well, hello. I haven't really had anything to do all week, so I figured I'd swing by the Shack and hang out for a little bit.
I think you had only 20 podcasts.
We had to get something out of him. I mean, he's just been hanging around. He's playing Fortnite repetitively. And that lovely voice you heard over there, stage right. Caro, what's up?
Hi. I don't know if it's lovely. I was screaming bloody murder yesterday, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to hear my voice again.
For those of you that watched the live stream, you know exactly what she's talking about. Carol, yeah. I love your pirate self. Never change.
No my pirate self?
Yes, never change. And as always, I am Donnie Reese, one of your hosts, co-hosts, whatever you want to call me here at the Nintendo Shack. And an E3 Direct Week, big news. We were so excited. And
so much news.
I thought they delivered. We'll talk about that a little later. But let's talk about the news drops that we got. We've got a lot to get through, so let's just jump right in. First and foremost, we had a lot of news that dropped before Nintendo actually had their Direct, so let's run through it. First and foremost, Ubisoft unveiled Starlink, a game that we knew that was coming to the Switch this fall. However, what we did not know is that they had partnered with Nintendo to include Fox McCloud and an R-Wing. You can now play Starlink basically as Star Fox and basically play it like a Star Fox game. What did you guys think of that announcement? That was kind of a big deal. Miyamoto was there.
I think the best part was Miyamoto getting there and holding the prototype that they gifted him, and he just goes, "Sugoi!" Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And it makes me want to be on the Ubisoft stuff next year, because that's going to be another year of Miyamoto just showing up randomly in the crowd. They've done it 2 years in a row now.
I heard it was the smartest move Ubisoft could have done, because Toys to Life is dead. We all know that, except for Amiibos, which people primarily get because they're collectors items, not because of the functionality in the games, because Correct. They really don't have much, if any. But they just doubled, if not tripled, how many copies of this game they're going to sell simply by doing this.
Yep.
That's it.
That I agree with. I saw that makes more appearances by Miyamoto at a Ubisoft show than Nintendo Direct in the last 4 years.
Oh my God.
That's very true. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the Nintendo Direct this year, but yet he was in Ubisoft.
Maybe Nintendo's trying to keep him away.
Miyamoto-san, we have a gift for you. Oh, I'm there. Yeah, I'll be there. Don't worry about it.
That's interesting. At the Ubisoft show, they also announced Trials Rising, the dirt bike explosion wrecking game that's coming to Switch. It includes co-op. It drops in February of 2019.
That thing looked hilarious.
It did. That was a good trailer. They did well by that game. Probably better than I think I've ever seen it done. We've seen, I'm going to say four Trials games.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
And I've never seen a trailer try to sell me on the game. They really kind of went with the whole Burnout, let's watch everybody just wreck shop as much as possible, and it was really funny. Also, we saw Just Dance. We saw more Donkey Kong DLC for Mario Rabbids at the Ubisoft show. So Nintendo was very present during Ubisoft's presentation.
Yes.
Excuse me. We also learned that Tales of Vesperia is coming to Nintendo Switch day and date. This is a remaster of the game, the long series of the Tales games. I've never played this one. Caroline has played a Tales game, but not this one. However, I do believe most people consider this one to be the best in the Tales series.
Yeah, that's what you've said the general consensus is.
Yeah.
I've personally played Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, and I loved it when it was, back then, and obviously we're talking a few generations ago. It'd be interesting to see how the series has developed since then. I think this is only maybe the fourth game coming to a Nintendo console, aside from that one and one on the 3DS and one on the Game Boy, I think. But I think I might pick it up just because I got to get my JRPG itch.
I was gonna say if you're looking for some RPG, I mean, it's one of the few games that's coming day and date to all consoles. So give it a little credit there.
Right.
Fun fact on Trials: this is actually the 15th Trials game.
Oh wow, we were way
Oh
off.
my god!
The series has been going since 1999, but yeah, this will be the 15th iteration if you count all the PC versions, which was that way for a while.
Okay.
Okay.
They've also
PC
done a mobile
versions.
version, so as well. But yeah, this is the 15th iteration of Trials.
I know on 3DS there's a lot of clones. I've downloaded a lot of demos of clones of Trials games on 3DS for my son.
Yeah, there's actually never been one. This is the first one to appear on a Nintendo console, period, at
I was
all.
thinking, like we've never seen it for Nintendo before.
Nope.
Cool.
Fun. I might pick it up.
Bethesda announced that Elder Scrolls Legends is coming to the Switch day and date with the other consoles this year. That's from Bethesda. Kevin, have you ever played this card game?
Yeah, I did. I did briefly just because it was Bethesda and I want to give it a shot. And they did a good job with Fallout Shelter and stuff like that. So I want to support it. It's fine, but it's nothing, in my mind, it's nothing that separates it from the other card games that are out there as it was anyway. So, I mean, if it's going to be free to play, it might be worth playing. You can sit down and do a couple quick matches. I think some of these mobile games we're seeing are well suited for the Switch to pick up and play. So it'll be something I mess around with, but yeah, it's nothing radically different if in the marketplace, but being the only one on the Switch, it's going to have a good advantage, and I think a lot of people are going to pick it up and play because there's no other options.
Speaking of mobile games coming to Switch, one of the games that dropped during the Bethesda conference that I actually mentioned on our port list from a couple episodes ago, Fallout Shelter finally made its way to Switch. It was unveiled the night of Bethesda's conference and is free to start, free to play. I've never played the game. Kevin, can you give some insight to the game, like how the money part works?
Yeah, so you don't need to spend any money in the game at all. You can buy extra lunch boxes, they call them, and lunch boxes can also be won by completing objections they have, like, hey, collect 500 power or send your survivor out to the wasteland for 4 hours, stuff like that. And you'll get packs that include money, resources, outfits, weapons, and sometimes even vault dwellers, like other people to live in your vaults. But basically, you're building a community. It's almost not like The Sims exactly, but it's probably the best comparison I can do. You build the different rooms in your shelter. They have different functions, whether they produce energy, which you need to keep the power on, water, food, places to live, place to build health packs and heal people, place for people to train, and you kind of just compound and go through. When you hit a certain point in the game, though, you can add in missions, which is kind of fun, where you'll send a squad out basically to do a raid. They'll raid another vault or another building, go through and able to select. You kind of tap on the different rooms, and you're able to go through and fight enemies and collect gear and loot and go back to your room. But the microtransactions can be used to buy extra lunch boxes, which will contain random gear. You can buy extra pets. Yes, Caroline, there's pets you can have. That give you different perks like extra strength, or they scavenge for you, stuff like that. And then there's also what's his name? It's the robot handyman type thing. I forget the exact name of it. And he'll go around and either auto collect the resources in your vault, or he can actually go out into the wasteland and collect money for you, which takes a lot longer, but he can go out there and do stuff automatically for you. So nothing that it's not a pay to win at all in this. You can do everything just simply by playing.
Cool. Very cool.
And it honestly, in having played it both on mobile, PC, and Switch, it plays best on Switch. So to take a page out of Microsoft's book, it's better on X. Well, in this case, this is better on Switch.
Well, there you go.
Load times are way faster, and it's just very intuitive with the different button combinations.
Nice. Cool. Double Fine announced that Broken Age and Grim Fandango are coming to the Switch. Those are adventure games for those of you that are into that stuff. I tried Grim Fandango when it came out on PlayStation 4. That is not a game for me. However, Broken Age has been on that backlog list for quite a while because I hear it's very good. The reviews for that game are very positive. Have either of you played either of those games?
Nope. Heard of it, but no.
I have played Grim Fandango back in the day when it was out, and it's very much one of those old school point and click adventure type games. I have not played Broken Age though, so that might get me interested. Grim Fandango Remaster I have on PS4 anyway, so there's really no need to pick up on Switch again. But it's definitely worthwhile if you like adventure games and story games.
Excuse me.
It's just not easy at all.
Devolver Digital released a title that I will keep my eye on for quite a while. It's called My Friend Pedro.
It looks interesting.
It's coming to Switch and PC, and it is a shooter, a side-scrolling shooter that features bullet time mechanics, meaning that you can slow everything down. And I got to tell you, it makes for a great trailer. Their trailer for this game,
it was really cool.
It's crazy.
Was really nice. It has this SteamWorld Heist aiming mechanic where you can have a line of sight that you can bounce off of items. In one of the sections that I saw in the trailer. The character kicked a frying pan into the air and then
Yeah.
lunged, froze time, shot the bullet off the frying pan to take out the spy or the assailant or the enemy. Everything is being controlled by a sentient banana. So that is, I presume that's Pedro. That's who you're trying to get, is a sentient banana who's controlling all these people trying to kill you as you go through like waves and waves and waves of people. Like I kind of like an elevator action game, like a Mr. Shifty type thing. So it looked neat. It comes out in February 2019. It's definitely unique. And as of this moment, it appears it is console exclusive to Switch.
Yep, that
Awesome.
it does.
Anything else on that game from you guys?
No, it just looked crazy.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm not sure it's something I'd play or be good at because
Same.
of the multiple things going on at all given time, but it does look very cool.
That looks fun. After Party, which if you watched all the conferences, you will know made an appearance at Microsoft's conference, was also announced coming to Switch day and date in 2019. This is from the makers of Oxenfree. It's this party escape from hell is what they more or less called in their trailer. It's got some funny dialogue and whatnot. It looks pretty cool, so that's another one to mark on your calendars going forward. And that joins Galaxy Trail, which also announced that Freedom Planet, the game that made its way to Wii U, is kind of this Sonic Genesis era type game, is coming to Switch this fall. So if you never caught that, if you're a new Switch owner that never got into the Nintendo ecosystem, I would absolutely recommend that. I played that game about halfway through on Wii U, and it was fantastic. It was a really good indie title, budget release. Kevin,
Nice.
you played Freedom Planet too, right?
I played Freedom Planet. Yeah, it's a great kind of Sonic X clone type game.
Kind of, yeah.
That's the vibes I got from it, between the art and the way the levels are kind of laid out, but each character is a little bit different. But yeah, I got the vibes of that. But I did play it on Wii U. It was fun. It's let's see. I don't want to price games out here, but I to be honest, if it's more than $10, it's probably not something you really need to dive into. But if you get it for 10 or less, it's a good grab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, as a budget release, it's pretty good.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Limited Run also held their own conference, which was done in spectacular fashion. So
Hilarious fashion. Awesome job, guys.
going to our correspondent for Limited Run, because this happened at the same time, or like there was overlap with the Ubisoft conference. So Caroline watched all of it. Caroline, tell us all the news that happened.
For those who don't know, I'm like a huge physical collector, and so these guys bring all of the digital stuff that I wanted physical, and they hit 2 out of the 3 that I wanted this go around. We have 8 new physical Switch titles in the mix. One of them was available right off from the start. That was Oceanhorn, and I had heard that I should maybe dabble in it, but then the guys told me that maybe I shouldn't. So that is available now, and they said that, interestingly enough, that I think that the developer of the actual game had already started creating their physicals by themselves. So there are sleeves on the outside that are going to have the developer stamp on the bottom, on like the red spine, and not the limited run symbol, because they have like a stash already ready to go. And there's going to be 2 waves of those. And then later on in the fall, Limited Run is going to create additional product and open pre-orders for that later on. But right now it's a first come, first serve. We're also getting Thumper on July 20th. These dates, I'm not exactly sure. I'm probably going to bet that they're the dates that the pre-orders go live, because they open a pre-order window, gauge demand, and then they decide to go ahead with a print.
Yeah, they never will give you a release date unless it's already available. Like in the case of Oceanhorn,
Right.
they always just do, this is the date we're taking pre-orders. You
Right.
get them when you get them. So
Right. Actually, Thimbleweed Park was the first Switch title that they created, and I think that it was announced either back in March or April, and I still don't have it. So it's supposed to be here in July. Going on, Night Trap, the 25th anniversary edition, is coming in July, and I got schooled on. I knew what the game was, but I had never
not off your description. You knew nothing about what the game was.
I knew that it was like that game where they had the recordings, and it shows the guy at the end. He's like, "Hey, can you help me?" Like type thing, and it was just like this old 90s videotape. That 25th anniversary edition is coming. Pre-orders are opening physically in July. Ukulele, which is one that I had been waiting for Switch, that we had gotten physicals on everything else, but since they decided to cut the Wii U out, they just did not do physical at all for a Nintendo system. Finally, we're getting Ukulele in August.
I'm interested to see. Now, they didn't get prices on any of these, right?
No, it's generally about $34.99.
Because I'm wondering, because in the case of ukulele, you can get it on every other console but Switch for like $5 or $10.
I know.
I'm like, I want to play this game, but I do not want to pay that amount of money. And I keep waiting because I think it would be the best on Switch. And
I tried playing ukulele on PlayStation 4 when it went on sale, and I got through like the first area, and I was like, "This is not a good 3D action adventure game." To be quite honest with you, it's like going back in time. You know, if you could, if you can appreciate playing an old game, and that's fine for you, but it's no.
See, I can, and I think like Brian and I love banjo games. So, and Jacob Rush, I'm sure, would have something to say to you about that.
Oh, he did.
He's sung his praises. Yeah. So
I liked banjo games back in the day. Yeah. I don't necessarily want to play a banjo game today like I used to.
So I will say I did ask him about this because when it was coming out, I was like, "Hey, you going to buy this?" He said yes. However, he did say the game was okay. It wasn't great. So even he acknowledges the shortcomings. I mean, we don't know anybody I think that loves retro more than him anyway.
Absolutely.
And even he just said it was okay. It was good.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm still gonna buy it to put it on my shelf because I wanted. I was just that, and it's one of the games that I've wanted to play, and I've been holding out for a physical. Continuing on, Cosmic Star Heroine is actually being announced, or it's coming out digitally in August. They are determining when the physical copy is going to be released. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be like later on in the year, if not in 2019.
Yeah,
it takes them some time for a print. Golf Story, everybody's favorite here in the Shack, is coming for physical in September, guys.
And I'm buying that one. I will support them twice.
We're totally buying it. That was what they opened their stuff with, and I lost it. And I was like, Donnie, Golf Story physical. It's done deal. We've kind of heard rumors about that they were doing it. So I'm glad that they partnered with them.
A lot of people thought that was going to be the first one when it ended up being Thimbleweed Park, which is also a great one. But when they first said like, "Hey, we're doing a Switch game," everyone was kind of like, "Oh, it's gonna be Golf Story."
I hope it would like have some stickers or something fun in there. But
I hope so. But
who knows? They do sometimes put up like the really cool limited packs that are really expensive, but you get once in a million type
do the
stuff.
Vinyl too. Throw in the vinyl that they printed for Golf Story.
That would be super cool. Then the last two that we've got out of our 8 are Layers of Fear Legacy, which I've never heard of before.
What?
Coming out in
heard
October.
of it?
Yeah, it's on PlayStation, Xbox. It's a walking sim horror type game. Yeah.
Oh, no wonder I don't do horror games.
Has good reviews. It has good reviews.
Yeah.
Dust and Elysian Tale is coming to be determined on a date when they're going to put it up for pre-order. So we've got 8 in our future and like a lot coming up in just the next few months. So this is exciting stuff. And if you guys haven't watched the conference, I recommend, like, it's a short conference. They covered a lot of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita stuff, but it is hilarious. And these guys know how to make fun of themselves, like on low budget and all this type of stuff. It's a really, really cute conference. I highly recommend you go watch it.
Yeah, the low tech production stuff is very admirable. It's very cute and it's very quaint. I would there was a Vita game that was shown. I already forgot the name of it, but I instantly like gravitated to it and I was like, this looks amazing. I posted the name of it in our PlayStation chat because I was like, this game looks really cool. But yeah, support Limited Run because, without them, some of that stuff, some of these games never get a chance. Like they never get a box copy. And this is stuff that you can usually grab in like a bargain bin or somebody will trade it in. This is stuff you usually find later in the console's life. So if you have the means to do so, if you haven't bought the digital copy, if you like physical copies, support them because what they do is admirable. They find these indie developers that find some success. And even a Golf Story that finds success, like still... You have no idea like what a physical copy can do for just getting people's eyes that it's there. Some people never even go into eShops. Some people have no idea. They don't do that stuff. So getting a physical copy on the shelf means the world to them. So
and the thing that I love about them is that they pride themselves on being collectors that are doing stuff for other collectors. They're really insanely into physicals and collecting and stuff. And they had a great thing before the show that I don't know if anybody watched, but it was just talking about their story and why they started doing what they're doing and what they stand for and stuff. So they're great guys. I'd love to be their correspondent officially. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, because I mean that's you mentioned a good thing. They're all about game preservation. They bring that up constantly. They're great. It's a good cause at the very least.
Absolutely.
But Nintendo actually did have a direct Like they
Oh
actually
yeah, we're just now
came.
getting to that, aren't
We're
we?
just now getting to that. I think we actually did pretty good. We're 19 minutes in, and we're doing pretty good. Nintendo had a direct. They started to bring games. They showed some stuff, and before we run it all down, I was taken aback by this direct. Quite honestly, even days later after listening to it, I thought it was the best direct I've ever seen. I thought this direct delivered in spades. And that backs up my live reaction. My live reaction as it was going on was, I can't believe this is what they're doing right now. Because I've seen some bad directs. I've seen some good directs that never really brought it. This direct, I felt, brought it for me. Now, I understand that I'm a Nintendo fan. I have some bias here. I can appreciate that. But as a Nintendo fan who likes Nintendo stuff, they brought it for me. I was over the moon. I was like, this direct is amazing. It felt fast. It felt quick. Even by the time it was over, I was like, what just happened? Like, I had to go look at recaps. I had to recall the notes.
That's how I was.
Yeah, I had to go rewatch it. I was like, I have no idea. Like, there was so much that just happened. It kind of blew me away. What did you guys think of the direct overall? Just like brief feelings.
Well, I'll go next because Kevin wasn't there with us. We talked about it, and originally I was just, it kind of took a lot for me to process. It was boom, 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 boom. And we had a full 25 minutes of just Smash. I think it was 25, almost 30 minutes of just Smash. And that was such a humongous blow that, like I said in the live stream, it was like a fever dream. And it didn't feel real. I watched it again with Brian later on that evening when he got home from work because he hadn't seen it. And after watching it again, I was like, I understand why they did what they did with Smash, but I feel like we could have gotten thrown a bone. Hey, by the way, Metroid Prime's still in the works. By the way, Yoshi's going in 2019 now. Even that kind of disappointing news, I feel like is better than not hearing anything. So I don't I know we're not supposed to grade things, and I don't like grading things, but
Yeah, you don't have to grade it. Don't grade it.
Well, at first I was like, oh my gosh, solid A, at the end of it. After watching it again and having a day and a half to process everything, I'm going to give it a B+, just because while I feel like it had great pacing in the beginning, and then it's just okay, we have to do all of this pacing, it was almost like showcase style. And then for all that, we just get a huge, sit down in your face, nitty gritty Smash for 25 minutes. And I didn't mind that. I understand that's their big showcase title this time around, and they wanted to really go for it. And they wanted to get people hyped for it. But I don't know if I needed to go through every single character and learn something about it. It wasn't every single character, but I don't think I needed to know all of that. But I'm still flabbergasted by what we've gotten. Don't get me wrong. I think what we've gotten is incredible. And even though there were some things that I was wanting in there, Animal Crossing, that didn't make it in there this year, I'm super excited. Xenoblade 2 was a huge shock.
And see, now you're going too far. I said brief reactions, and now you're running down the direct. Kevin?
Okay, we'll go into the direct then. Go.
Okay, so for me, I was excited watching it. I was manning the Twitter while you guys were doing the live chat reactions to it, trying to keep up with the announcements. At one point, as they were talking about everybody Smash, I was actually trying to list everybody out, and then I realized it's just everybody, and I stopped trying to tweet it, and then they were it's everybody. All right, cool. Pacing was good. Do I wish there were more heavy hitters? Sure. Did Nintendo need more heavy hitters? Nope.
No, absolutely not.
You got Smash, you got Pokemon. That's all they need for this year. The one thing I will say is I'm completely fine with it. Is it the greatest direct they've ever had? I'll say it's one of them. And I think the key here is if you hold this presentation up to others throughout E3, which we've almost covered all of them now between our recaps, this is one of the better ones by far. Sure. A lot of the other ones did not do as good. And the one thing I will say, and we'll get to those, so I'm going to stop my comments here, is all the people sit there and say Nintendo announced nothing. There were 40 games in Nintendo's Direct. Microsoft had 50. So everyone's sitting there saying, Microsoft hit you with game after game after game after game. So did Nintendo. You guys just weren't paying attention because you had your tunnel vision on for, it's just Smash this year. You didn't look at everything else.
Yeah.
A lot of this list I care about, and there's a lot of lists I don't really care about, but they're there, and that's the biggest thing. Especially for being a Wii U fan, the biggest thing is that the sport is there, and it is here for the Switch, so we got nothing to worry about. I can wait a little bit longer for things to come down, but yeah, like you said, Caroline, do I wish it was Animal Crossing? Yes. Do I wish Pikmin? Yes, because my wife hates me for trading in Pikmin, and I'm still hearing it all the time. I tried showing her stuff from E3. She goes, "Is it Pikmin?" I said, "No." She goes, "I don't even care. I'm not even going to watch it." So,
oh my gosh.
yeah,
Nice.
it's hostile over here. But yeah, so that's it. So it was good, not great, and I wish there were bigger heavy hitters, but there's tons of content coming. That's really all that
Yeah,
matters.
I mean, we cannot complain, and I feel like people are taking a lot of things for granted, and you could not get Smash this year. I'm just saying.
I had a hard time coming to grips with the fact that I felt so happy with their presentation, and yet when I went to the internet in our live stream, I brought it up multiple times, I felt very much in the minority. I was like, whoa, people don't like this. And I think it does come down to how do you value Smash? You know, a lot of newcomers, people that have a Switch as a second or third console, they may not value Smash. So to them, they may feel let down. And I think that's fine. For somebody that I don't even know, I mean, I can't even call myself somebody in Smash's core demographic, but I like Smash because of the celebration that it is of Nintendo. As a Nintendo fan, I came into this Nintendo Direct knowing that Smash was going to be there, basically having a good understanding of what I thought they could and couldn't do. And I got to admit, they blew me out of the water with Smash, and I didn't think that was possible. I did not think I could come away going, oh my God, I thought Smash was amazing. I just thought we would see more Smash. You know, like it would just be Smash, and it's so much more than that. But anyway, let's get into the Direct. Let's start.
Hold on. One last point, just to summarize it, because your thing as to why does everybody hate it? I have your reason here. All these people now are picking up Nintendo for the first time in years. All they care about is Nintendo's first party lineup because that's what they're used to. So the other announcements that we're going to get to do not factor in at all. So all they saw in the Direct was probably Mario Party, Pokemon, and Smash. They didn't pay, they weren't paying attention to Xenoblade. They don't care about stuff like that. Fire Emblem, a lot of these people never have played or heard much of. They don't care about that stuff. And that's the issue, is you have all these people jumping on the Nintendo bandwagon now that haven't been, that are hypercritical about things because they're not there. It would be, to them, it's like Sony having a presentation without having The Last of Us or an Uncharted, or Xbox not having a Gears or a Forza. To them, not having enough Nintendo first-party titles is a huge fail when it's not. This is a celebration of what the Switch has become. The fact they're getting the support from all these other companies, plus their first-party lineup continues to just smash it.
Yeah.
Good choice of words.
Nice.
That's what people need to realize. And it's just these people that aren't used to Nintendo that don't realize exactly what they have on their hands now.
Yeah, that's well said.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. So they kicked off the Direct with a title called Daemon X Machina. Now, this is a Gundam Armored Core fighting robot smash and beat 'em up style. It comes from Marvelous Studios. The team members that make up the team working on this game have experience in past series with Armored Core, Soul Calibur, No More Heroes, which the art style represents quite a bit, Fire Emblem, and the Monster Hunter games. I was over the moon for this game. Like, in live reactions, I was like, this looks awesome. But
At first, I'm like, what the heck are we watching? And, you know, I kind of had an unsure feeling about it even after I watched it the second time. But then today, I watched the Treehouse Live play it. And that game looks sweet. I am so excited to, I'm not so much of a Gundam fan. I like Gundam anime and stuff. But this thing, if you have a little boy in your house, you're going to be buying this game for your little kid.
I'll be buying this game for the big kid in the house.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, yeah.
You guys know me. I'm all about big robot smash, blow up, explosions, that type of stuff is great. I was. Can you imagine
compatibility with that and the Nintendo Labo robot?
That's what I was thinking at first. When it first came up, I'm like, I'm sure you can, because it's just a matter of using the Joy-Cons. So depending how the control schemes are, you could totally do that.
That would be a very cool DLC thing that they could come up with.
Oh, for sure. So for me, when this first popped up, I think kind of like the rest of you guys, I was trying to figure out, okay, what game is this? Because you're like, this is kicking off the Nintendo Direct. This has got to be something we know, and we couldn't be any more wrong. For me, looking at it, same thing. Like at first, I was kind of like, but the more I look at it, the better it is. And in my mind, this might be the best Transformers game we've had in years, even though it's not Transformers.
True. Yeah. That's a good point.
Transformers.
They then transitioned from that into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country. Caroline, tell us what this is.
So let me paint the picture. All of a sudden, we're just thrown into this Kevin, I'm gonna kick your butt. So we've got this nice background, this Japanese subtitles on the bottom with this Japanese speaker, and he's talking about this old country and all this crap. Anyway, whatever. I see the words Endaline Praetor and lose my mind.
You did.
Then I realized this is Xenoblade 2, and I wasn't expecting any DLC content to be shown here because the season pass has just kind of been like chipping things out as they go. I've been getting them slowly, like a new blade every month, or new 5 quests every other month. This is something that people who have completely played through the game and appreciate the game like I do, something that I kind of wished in the back of my mind that we could get, and it's happening. This DLC is a completely different new game. It's actually getting a physical release. If you buy the season pass like I have, you get it, included with all of your stuff on September 14th. But if you do not, you can buy the physical copy if you would like, which I will be getting on September 21st. And this portrays the 500 years prior Aegis War that is referenced throughout the entire game. Everything that has happened in the current Xenoblade Chronicles 2 game is as a result of this 500 years ago Aegis War. And you're playing the characters that are in the flashbacks. You're playing the bad guys, basically, before they became bad guys. And I'm stoked. And then today we get this unbelievable shock on Treehouse. This new challenge battle mode is coming out, hitting tomorrow, which is, technically Friday in Japan. They said that it's Friday, but like 10 p.m. tomorrow night. And all of a sudden, they go into this otherworldly realm, having just come hot off of Xenoblade Chronicles like a couple months ago. Here comes Shulk and Fiora out of this other portal. You get to use them as blades. And I'm like, oh my God, they animate them up. They look great. I watched it again with Brian tonight. We're so stoked. I know the Octo expansion came out tonight, but I think I'm probably gonna have to go with my main heart in Xenoblade and try and like chip out these crazy battle mode quests. But we've got this game keeps on giving. Like I said on the stream, I think for a game that's $59.99 and then a $29.99 DLC pass, I've probably gotten $1,000 worth of enjoyment out of this game for something that's less than $100. So if you're a JRPG fan, then this is like just your dream come true.
What exactly is battle mode?
Battle mode, you go into this arena type thing that's not linked to Allrest, and it's apparently not linked to Shulk's world either. I can't remember the daggum name of it. And you're there and you meet up with them, and they're like, well, we'll band together, and you use them as blades, and you clear these missions. And these missions are really difficult. They like set parameters, like you can only use X amount of characters and they can only have these X amount of blades. Okay. They up or lower your levels depending on the levels of the other enemies. So if you're actually a level 99, but you're fighting level 25 enemies, you're going to be stuck at a level 30. It's going to be really tough. You collect these little cubes that are drops from the monsters. You have to be really quick to pick them up. And at the end, you get loot. And out of these chests, you get more loot. And then those things you trade off with a Nopon, and you get costumes. You get costumes that's like fan service. We've got a Pyra-looking Mithra, a Mithra-looking Pyra, Morag in a dress. Just all of this stuff that's like referenced in the game that people have been dying to see. Like Candy Stripe Nia. What is that? Everybody's dying to know what Candy Stripe Nia is. Any Japanese anime otaku person like me is super excited. I hope we get to keep Shulk and Fiora as blades. I hope that's a reward that you get from doing these battle mode things. That's coming out on Friday, so you guys know what I'm going to be busy with this weekend. That and between Octopath Traveler, what am I going to do?
There you go. Coming to a shack near you. I'm excited. I'm going to get the physical release as well because I never bought the expansion pass, and I'm like, why not?
So worth it. So worth it.
For those of us that either haven't played it or haven't played it a lot, would you recommend getting into the prequel first before hitting the main game?
No.
No?
No. You're going to have so much more appreciation for the prequel having played through the full first game. You kind of develop an attachment to these characters as you go through, and I feel like the attachment is not there if you go back and play the prequel. Like, you even feel for the bad guys in the first game after a certain time because you know their backstory. And it just kind of gives it a more charming feel and really kind of heartache, really, because you know the end story of what's going to happen, but you're like, God, I know what's going to happen, but I really want to know what their stories were like in depth before all of this stuff happens. I can't wait to play it. Like, when I saw that we get to play as Laura, my heart jumped.
Yeah, something happened. Something jumped. All right, so Reggie Fils-Aimé enters the screen and he starts talking about Pokemon Go. He shows how you can transfer from Pokemon Let's Go. He shows how you can transfer Pokemon Go to Pokemon Let's Go. He shows off the Pokeball Plus. And the one thing that I want to mention on the podcast is he stands in front of a TV in the background and there are ninjas on the screen showing Celeste, showing
that was the
SeaWorld
second
Dig
time that he
2,
came up.
and showing Golf Story.
Yep.
Yep. I was like, that's Golf Story back there. Get a little highlight, which I love because Golf Story's amazing. You should buy it physically, digitally, both. And then he goes into what I think is probably like the big surprise. And unfortunately, I think E3 gamers they rate conferences based on surprises, and not everything has to be a surprise to be good. Content can be good and you know about it in advance. They can tell you Smash is coming and Smash totally be good because it's awesome without being a surprise. But the big surprise for Nintendo's conference is that Super Mario Party is coming this October 5th to be exact. It has over 80 mini games. The crew are out of the car. They're rolling their board games. You can adjust the board games based on the way you play. So if you only want to play for 15 minutes, or you're going to play for an hour and 15 minutes, you have that ability to do so. So they're learning. I see a lot of Mario Party Star Rush from somebody who played a lot of that. Like, they're trying to make the games faster for those of us that don't have as much time.
Right.
They showed off some really cool, I think they call it Toad's Rec Room mode, where you can pair multiple Switches together and have different mini games, which is really cool. I don't know how many people will be able to take advantage of something like that, but if you have a group of friends and you all have a Switch, that's definitely something you can get into. It's added value. The one thing that they did not announce, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people will make a point of referencing, is that it does not have online play. So if you were looking for that, that's not going to be here. But it does have a really good character set. It did look really well. I mean, without having played it, with Mario Party especially, you never really know until you play it. You don't know how you're going to feel the flow. But from having not played it, from what they showed in the game, what they showed in Treehouse, it does look like a game that has learned from past Mario Party mistakes.
Especially the past few hard console titles, like 9 and 10, were just abhorrent in my opinion.
Yeah, this looks like a far distraction from that. So, Kevin, what did you think about Mario Party, Super Mario Party?
I am so excited for this one because, number one, the biggest thing is they're out of the stupid car. We're not traveling together. It's an actual, back to the roots, the board game-esque style, 80 mini games. That's insane. Like you said, Toad's Rec Room is a totally separate mode that doesn't affect the game. So even if you don't have the ability to do that, you're not missing anything. It's just added value. And this is one where they finally listened, like you said, they listened to the fans. They went back to what people wanted. This is a great game for me and my family. The four of us can sit down and play them. You only need a Joy-Con to control it, so just like Mario Kart. And just have the old-fashioned Mario Party fun that I haven't had since... I want to say the last one I actually enjoyed was maybe GameCube. Like at this point,
Nintendo 64 for me.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but this is exactly what they need. The online thing, in my head at first, I'm like, well, it's kind of a huge miss. It's kind of a disappointment. But then you think about playing a full online game with this. Like if the three of us sat down and decided, okay, we're going to play a traditional game, that may be like 2 hours, sitting there online. That's a lot to ask for people in a turn-based thing to go back and forth. So I'm okay with it not being there. Maybe someday we'll get something like that. But this was one of the best announcements out of the thing. Got me excited. October, so a good time frame right there. It's dropping, when there's not a whole lot going on. The traditional Mario Party time slot, if you remember back in the day. So I'm all for it. Bring it on.
Anything else, Caroline?
No. I liked what I saw in Treehouse today. I've kind of just thrown Mario Party on the back burner. It's just not something that I was interested in. They kind of burned me with Mario Party 10. I bought it for the amiibo.
Yeah.
It was bundled with the gold Mario amiibo. You remember that?
Yeah, yep. I do.
Yeah. And Yeah, it was just not good. And I'm glad we've gone back to the original board game format. That's what we needed. It's really what we needed.
Yep. The next one that showed up was Fire Emblem: The Three Houses. Now,
Whoa!
it has been delayed to Q2 2019.
It's okay.
They did show that the 3D exploration from Echoes appears to be back and probably better than ever. It definitely looks better than ever. Yeah. Graphically, it's much more enhanced than anything we ever played on 3DS, which we should have expected, but it looked fantastic. We also saw characters appearing to command entire battalions as opposed to individual characters. Or maybe a character had a battalion with them.
Heading the battalion,
Yeah, and that looked pretty awesome. It's kind of going to like a Dynasty Warriors, kind of like a Risk or just a huge global warfare. And the one thing that I peeled off on the stream instantly was the maps were huge.
Humongous.
They were, on the 3DS, you'd have a map with maybe 90 tiles, and it looked like there was a point in the game where they spanned across 180 tiles. Like they just, you could just go forward. The strategy element in this looks to be much grander and bigger than we have ever experienced, and it looked good. For my Fire Emblem fandom stance, the cutscenes looked like Fire Emblem. The music sounded like Fire Emblem. Like, I'm very intrigued. I'm very happy. I wanted it to be this year. It's not. That's a little disappointing.
It's okay. They're perfecting it.
The lineup is such that I don't think it needed to be this year, so I'm fine. That makes me okay with the delay. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I believe their website says Q2, so expect this somewhere between April and E3 next year, I would imagine. Yeah. Caroline, what do you think about Fire Emblem?
Dude, like that seamless transition from the overhead view on the map, like the bird's eye view, down into the battle. I mean, like just seamless 3D running at your face. That's it's just incredible the way that it's come. Of course, I mean you're working. We've been doing Fire Emblem now. Awakening, Fates, and Echoes have all been on 3DS, and I guess with more power in the Switch comes bigger and better things. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that it's going to be this cool and this crazy. We haven't had a console version since Radiant Dawn on the Wii U.
Yeah,
or the
on
Wii.
the Wii. Yeah.
And I'm stoked, dude. Like it looks like it's going to be like an Eastern European French type area, based on the character names, Claude Von something, and just very ritzy European names. I'm excited. I'm really excited. You know, I'm down for anything Fire Emblem.
I'm really, really excited too. I mean, as well. Like I was over the moon with everything I saw. I'm one of the folks that have been saying for the longest time the animation in the 3DS titles looks amazing. I can only imagine what an HD fully realized version of that looks like
on my 60-inch TV. I can't wait.
Be so gorgeous. Kevin, what did you think about Fire Emblem?
Yeah, it's exactly what they needed. It has the upgrades I kind of expected to be on the Switch there too. Same thoughts as you, the Q2, that's fine. Ideally, you think about it, last year they said, hey, you're not getting a Pokemon game. Well, I think Nintendo sat down and said, okay, we can get one of these out. Which one is it going to do? Pokemon's the biggest thing to sell more consoles for now, and then you have more likelihood to sell more copies of Fire Emblem because of that come Q2 2019. As great as Fire Emblem is, and we love Fire Emblem, it's not a console seller like a Pokemon is, like a Smash is. So let's get the console in people's hands, and when they start looking for something else to play, oh, look, Fire Emblem's coming right around the corner, and it might get more people to try it out for the first time in some cases. So I'm A-okay with that. I would have loved it this year as well, but don't need it. We got enough.
No, that's a good point. I heard a lot of people on our Twitter, on people watching us live stream, they were like, what's Fire Emblem? I don't care about Fire Emblem. You see, that's a good point. You know, I would only encourage folks to give it a try.
Lobo was all over it, dude.
Yeah, right.
He was into it. He's like, might main my Switch.
He was
this
like,
year.
this looks awesome. So yeah.
Crazy. You think there's gonna be 3 versions?
I don't know. I mean, they said 3 houses, so that was we've seen 3 versions of Fire Emblem before. I don't think so. I really don't.
They need to stop with that, to be honest. Just sell it and then do the DLC just like they're doing with Xenoblade. That's fine. That's
I don't think they need to stop. I don't really mind it. We've talked about this in past, especially when they do like their digital discounts and whatnot. It's not that bad.
So here's the thing: I can walk right now and get the Fire Emblem. Was it Echoes?
Yeah.
I can get the whole collector's edition and walk into any Target right now on clearance. Same thing with Xenoblade 2.
Well, Echoes only had the one version.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's some sort of Fire Emblem collector's thing at Target right now, and it's been in the clearance shelf for the last 4 or 5
Echoes. That's Echoes.
Okay.
There was only one copy of Echoes.
Okay.
So like the one that people associate was Fates, and Fates is a standalone. Like Fate, that's not normal. Fates is an exception.
Yeah, that was different.
But Fates had 3 versions, but it was a huge game. If you played all 3 versions, you played a ton. It was 3 games worth of Fire Emblem.
It's like 80
but I mean,
hours
it's
plus.
just like you had said before we hit record here. You don't need more than one copy of Pokemon.
That's true.
In my mind, it's the same thing. Yes, there's more story content, but then just put it in one,
it's not
or wait and release another game a year from now. Make Fire Emblem an annual release instead of doing these things, or DLC.
That's an argument. I would say, here's what I would say to back up your point. The Switch is a new console. We have a lot of new people here. Let's start off slow. Let's do one Fire Emblem.
Yep.
But with Fates, I didn't mind it. Fates was okay. We then go right into a trailer reel of games, and they hit off with what has got to be the biggest third-party game to hit Nintendo Switch in years, maybe a decade,
Minecraft.
maybe more than that, like a long time. And I only say this because Sean Capri, who's in the chat, has not stopped talking about it all day on my timeline. He, with everyone else in Twitter, is blowing up my timeline about this Fortnite mess. Kevin, you're a Fortnite guy. You've been playing it probably as long, if not longer or more than everybody else in PSVG. Fortnite was out on Switch. It was out that day. It was out right then. What did you think about the game? Tell me how much you've played, what you thought about it, and then tell me what's going on with all this issue stuff.
I told you I wasn't going to talk about the issue stuff. Fine.
Don't dive into your deepness with it.
Yeah. So, all right. First off, performance-wise, runs great. I'm not having any issues there. I played it docked. I played it handheld as well. It's great. The lack of chat for right now is kind of an issue, but hey, guess what? Depending on when you're listening to this, if you're watching right now, you'll have chat tomorrow. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll have chat today. And it somehow magically, Epic Games was able to do something that Nintendo said wasn't possible. You could just plug a headset into your headphone jack, and oh my God, it works.
No way.
Yeah, so weird. So Nintendo, you need to fix that nonsense. But anyway, I've played, on the Switch, maybe 20, 30 matches at this point. I made you guys wait because I was in the middle of a match before we hit record. So you know how that goes. It came out actually before they said it would. So while we were on the Direct, it said, hey, it's going to come out 1 o'clock today. So right after the Direct is over. Justin messaged me and was like, hey, send me a picture, and it was already installed on his Switch. So like I went and looked, I was able to download it while we were in the middle of the Direct. So it dropped earlier than it said. Great Edition makes sense. 125 million active players right now on Fortnite as it is. So you can't deny that it is all over the place. Now, the issues here. Number one, I will say, these issues everybody's talking about as far as the whole login information with Sony and Switch and blocking and this and that, it does not affect everyone. I want to get that out there in front of people right now. My account is linked. Xbox, PS4, PC, and Nintendo Switch, and I have no problem. The only thing I don't have Fortnite on is my phone because it's not an Android. So that is not the case with everybody. So number one, for people that are all fired up about it, it's not everybody. So stop projecting it like it is. But basically, what is happening is that for some people, if you started playing on PS4 and then you try and use your same Epic ID on Nintendo Switch, it will block you. However, you can do it from PS4 to Xbox. You can do it from PS4 to PC. You can do it from PS4 to mobile. No problems. I've seen a lot of people communicate that they're upset because crossplay. It's not crossplay. It's the issue for most people. That's not what people who already are playing Fortnite that are now getting it on Switch are complaining about. The actual issue is that if you purchase things, and it's tied to your Epic ID, you cannot access them on Switch. That's the bigger issue. So if you bought a battle pass, which is what they do to basically add missions to your Fortnite thing. So they do seasons, they call them, and it goes on for 4 months, and they have different tiers. As you level up, you will get new costumes, new pickaxes, new dance moves, new music, loading screens. You can unlock all this bonus content for that price. If you can't use your Epic ID, you can't access everything you've already won on Switch. So that's the big thing. If you put money into it, it is blocking you from accessing your purchases. Crossplay is crossplay. Yes, that's a whole other argument, but ideally that doesn't really bother me that I can't play with somebody cross party. Last night, and I showed people a picture on our Discord. I had a group where it was PC, PS4, and Switch, and we were all on the same team, and we were all playing the same game. Like, so it has it. It's there. It's just some people, for some reason, are being blocked. Now, the biggest issue I have, and I'm not going to get into a huge debate about this, I gave my whole speech on Discord earlier. I do have an issue with everyone attacking and blaming Sony, and that's for one simple reason. In order to play Fortnite and make a purchase, you have to use an Epic ID. You have to sign up for an Epic ID. All of your progress is then synced through Epic, through their cloud, through their progress, so that you can log into any device and pick right up from there. I don't see how Sony is the one to block you from those things, because you are not paying Sony. You're not going through Sony's shop to purchase anything. It is all done through Epic. So much like you have a Uplay account with Ubisoft that you have to create, that is owned by Ubisoft, not by whatever console you're playing it on. And they don't make you log in with your PSN name or your Xbox ID. You create a new account using an email address. Epic does the same thing. You can then link it with you. And then have your stuff sync up, and that's how it is. But Sony doesn't create these accounts. They don't own these accounts. So while I do think Sony is partially to blame, I think Epic also has something to blame here too. And instead of them trying to figure out a way around this, they're just, everybody's just attacking Sony, coming after them. Sony now has publicly said, we're trying to figure out something to do, but I don't think they're entirely to blame. So I think the gamers here that are really upset about this, or talking about this, aren't just fully familiar with how this all works and how it operates, and that it really can't be all Sony, because if you can't access your purchases, you bought it through Epic. You did not buy it through the Sony PlayStation Store at all. It loads up an entirely different thing completely. So that's just my piece on it.
I think a lot of it has to do exactly with what it is you have an issue with. Like that's going to be random, varied from person to person. Some people are upset that you can't crossplay. Some people are upset with the account. Some people are upset with the linkage, and like they're all finding a place to rally together. So
yeah,
I think there's a lot of that. I did play Fortnite with Coach Mo and Brian Walden last night, and as my first Fortnite foray, if you will, he came and kind of showed me the ropes. I got 5 KOs my first match. We finished top 10, 3 matches in a row, top 20, like our first 4. I gotta admit, it was kind of fun, Kevin. You're not wrong. For a free game, it was a lot of fun, and for a console that has no shooters, it is a shooter. It's it's something graphically. It's like it feels like you're going back in time a little bit, but it is fun. I could see myself buying the battle pass. Like it's only $10, right?
No, it's $5 for a battle pass.
$5. My biggest question was, if I bought the $5 pass, would it could I link my what's it called, Epic ID, to my son's profile and let him play under my ID?
That I do not know.
That was the thing that I was wondering.
My kids just all play on mine because we can level up and get more freebies.
I might do the
more
same.
people are playing, the better it is.
I might do the same.
And the other thing I forgot to mention, if you buy a battle pass and you play enough and you can save up your V coins, they call them. You can actually pay for your next battle pass if you save up on V coins. So right now, because I don't buy the extra stuff, I'm just getting all the unlockable stuff I can get. I have enough saved up to cover me for the next 2 battle passes without spending a dime.
Nice.
And I can do the same thing on the next 2 battle passes. I'll just keep banking up that coin, and I'll never have to pay for a battle pass again. But I believe you might be right. It might be $10. I don't remember. I bought it.
I looked at it. I think it was 1,000 coins, and I think 950 coins is like a $10 or something like that.
There's a starter pack in there right now for $7 where you get a custom skin, a custom backpack, and 700 coins to get you started. So that'll bring you right there, and you're getting more than just the $10 worth of coins. So that might be the way to go.
There you go. And I thought, I was like, this is pretty fun. The only thing is it does require an online connection, so it's not something you can play on the go if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection. But that wasn't the only game that was out now. Hollow Knight, which is a Nindies title that I've been trumpeting for quite a while, since that first Nindies Direct was unveiled and released. Out now. It was $15 is how much it costs, $14.99. It comes from Team Cherry, and I bought in. I know Jason bought in. Today I finally got some time to sit down, and I put about 4 hours into it, and I've got to tell you, I thought it was amazing. And it's not really my cup of tea, but I kept trying to get into it. It's a Metroid game. It's a Metroidvania. It's hard though.
I noticed that from watching Treehouse.
Yeah,
today.
that's the thing. It's hard.
They showed it on Treehouse.
So there are limited save states. You have to go to certain places to save things. Like you can't save all the time, anytime. So I mean, it goes back to the old school Metroidvania. There are definitely enemies in there that can one shot kill you if you wander into the wrong place. It doesn't hold your hand a lot. It doesn't really tell you what to do. You have to build your own map. By meaning, like you have to buy a map, then you have to buy a compass to see where you are on the map. Then you have to buy like icons and where you can put icons on the map. So it's pretty core. There's not a whole lot of guides out there either. There's some stuff on Steam, but a lot of it's like achievement hunter, like completionist stuff. But it's really, really pretty. And the sound design, the music in the game is fantastic. It's gorgeous.
The art is wonderful.
It's
I think they've hand drawn all of the animations, and
it's like this
really
Tim Burton
stuck out to me.
Shovel Knight meets Metroid game is really the best that I could give you.
I watched the upcoming paintbrush guy. Did you watch that stuff today on Treehouse? That was fantastic. That boss fight. I mean, like it looked hard as hell.
So what you're talking about is they announced a new upcoming download pack that's coming called Gods and Glory.
Yeah, Gods and Glory. That's what it's called.
Which is their boss rush mode, but it has its own narrative, its own storyline. It's not just like an arena fighter. Like you have to actually go and figure out all the puzzles and everything. Do it. It's coming to Switch for free. The game that came out yesterday has all of the content included for free. So it's all there. $14.99, you get all of it. From a quality standpoint, it's one of the best games you can get on Switch. It may not be for everybody, because like I said, it's tough. If you're not into Metroidvanias, which I'm really not. If you're not into tough grind 'em out games, this is probably not for you. But because of the art, because of the music, because I'm enjoying it so much, I'm giving it the college try. I'm trying. I probably put in 4 hours. I think I got through. I've collected 2 abilities, so I think it's not like super long. From what I've read like completionists have beat this game in
$15 game with DLC. I can't imagine
they've beat it like 8 or 10 hours, so it's not super long. So I'm probably 20-30% through, and while I'm looking for like tips and hints, like I'm making it. I'm hoping to beat this one. It's worth it. It's rewarding. I feel accomplished in playing it. It's really good. Ultimately, all I really want to say is it's a really quality game. It's way better than most of the indie games that are on Switch. Like I
really did like what I saw today on Treehouse, and I might pick it up when I have a spare moment.
It's really good. Octopath Traveler got some time in the Nintendo Direct, much to Caroline's impressions, and so this game comes out in July 13th. But Caroline, tell us what happens tomorrow.
Tomorrow we get another demo, guys. We got the first demo that had the dancer girl, can't remember her name, and Oberyn. Sorry, the standard stereotypical knight. I'm gonna learn their names. They're gonna be Die Hard. Just wait. This one is gonna have the thief and the hunter girl, Honnet, which is really great because I wanted to start as Honnet. And no, you know what? I take that back. They played those 2 today on the Switch or on the Treehouse Live. This demo coming out tomorrow allows you 3 hours of early play of any of the 8 characters, and your 3 hours save carries over into the full game. So you get to pick whoever you want. I watched Honnet today, and Honnet gets to tame any beast that she comes across that can be tamed. That basically excludes bosses and humans, obviously. She's got a daggum snow leopard kitty cat. I'm sold. That's mine. It's mine. Its name is Linde. It's adorable, and I'm so ready. That with Octo expansion and Xenoblade this week, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. It's Father's Day too. How am I going to say this is my daddy? Priorities.
Definitely. And 3-hour demo is a meaty demo. So even if you're not really interested in RPGs, this is a great way to jump in and see if it's something for you. One of the big things from this direct was just how much content hit Switch this week that you could jump into and mess with if you wanted to. You've got Fortnite, you've got Paladins, you've got Fallout Shelter, you've got this demo that's dropping, Octopath, or the Octoling stuff, which we'll get into here in a minute. There was a lot of stuff that hit Switch this week if you just wanted more content to play.
No, Donnie, Switch isn't getting any games.
Switch doesn't have any games. There's nothing to play until Smash.
They announced nothing.
That's right. One of the things that they announced, which was a surprise, it leaked early, but it's still a surprise that this is actually happening. Overcooked 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch and PS4 and Xbox One August 7th, so it's coming very soon. It features online play and 4-player co-op, all kinds of crazy new recipes and new chefs and new stuff. There was some interesting debate going on Twitter about the pricing. Apparently, the physical versions of this, if you're playing on PS4 or Xbox, is $30. The Switch version appears to be $40, so there's a Switch tax. However, if you buy it digitally, it's $25 across the board. Everybody pays less than physical if you buy it digitally. I already pre-ordered it. Kevin, I know you were way into some Overcooked. What did you think about the presentation?
I was excited. So they didn't show a heck of a lot in this. They did show more in the Treehouse afterwards. Yeah. And I mean, it surprised me that it was here, but it also didn't at the same time because it looks exactly the same. Like they didn't like upgrade visuals or anything like that. It's the same engine. It's just more craziness, more complicated dishes, more.
You can throw food at each other.
Yep, you can throw food. The online aspect, it's great. I mean, now instead of just domestic violence in the household, you can start screaming at your friends over Overcooked. I mean, I love the game, but yeah, we've yelled at each other so much in my house about Overcooked that this is just going to be bad. But you guys talked me into buying it on the Switch, so I will be joining in as well.
We have to play. PSVG has to stream this together, and I think alcohol should be mandated.
Absolutely,
I absolutely believe this should happen. This is the best. This is the highest rated video we can possibly provide to the internet. This is all
voice chat. They didn't say anything about voice chat, did they?
We'll just chat through
No,
Discord.
they did, but it's okay. We'll chat through I didn't show Brian the full game, aside from what we saw in the Direct, but I told him about it, and I said that they would pay money for us to play this together.
Oh, yeah.
And
poor Brian.
I'm going to get Overcooked on Steam right now because it's $5, $4
it's like
right now.
$4.90.
Something cheap.
Yeah.
Just to test the waters, get myself good, and I think I'll be picking it up too.
My wife and I, we got 3 stars on every single stage and every single version of the game, including the 2 or 3 DLC packs they were. So like we mastered everything.
Wow.
The 2 of us. When we did 4, when we had the kids, it didn't always work as well. But yeah, we were there. And side note too, if you pre-order now, you get access to an exclusive skin pack as well, which has like 5 or 6 additions you can use. So
yeah,
definitely. The other game that was unveiled that also leaked early was Killer Queen is coming to the Switch in the form of Killer Queen Black. This is a console exclusive, which I saw a lot of people, they didn't think it was. They thought it was coming everywhere. It's not. Apparently, according to their website, this is a console exclusive. So Killer Queen Black is coming to Switch and PC. The Killer Queen game is typically 5v5, so it's a 10-player multiplayer. On Switch and PC, it's 4v4. So it's up to 8 players can play. And basically, each team starts off with a queen and up to 3 workers, and then they can win in any one of 3 ways: killing the opposing team's queen 3 times, filling their hive with berries, or bringing a giant snail to their team's basket. It's like this joust, Donkey Kong level type thing. There's all these platforms. It's crazy. It's wacky. It's fun. I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays about this. This has been making the rounds on podcasts for quite a while. A lot of folks that visit barcades are very familiar with this game, and it really fits into the Nintendo ecosystem, kind of like Overcooked, where you have like this local co-op multiplayer craziness type game. So it's coming this year. It is dated for 2018. We don't know when, but sometime this year it will come to Nintendo Switch, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. What did you guys think about Killer Queen Black?
I love the bringing the snail to the basket. It's just like, yep. Nope, the snail. That's it. So it's like, it kind of gave me I don't know. It and Hollow Knight are in the same vein so much as it's bug kind of games, right? They're both very insect kind of games. I got an insect vibe from Hollow Knight.
No. There's some bugs in there, yeah, but no.
Okay. Well, I just got an insect. Kevin's shaking his head at me. Whatever. I don't know. It looked okay. There's only so many indies I can buy before I start buying them and not playing them, like Steam. So,
yeah, for me, hard pass. It's
hard pass.
It's true. Like it's fine, but like that type of game, like it does so well in barcades because of that environment. The fact you have 8 guys drunk and screaming at each other on the same arcade cabinet. I don't think it's going to translate the same way on Switch. I think it'll be fine, but I don't think it's going to have the legs that it does in a barcade versus how often are you going to play it at home with other people. I don't think it's going to be that big.
How many legs? Insects have a lot of legs. 6?
Okay. I look forward to reporting back because I think it looks great. On to the main entree this evening, and that is Super Smash Brothers. We knew this game was going to be here. We were all looking forward to it. They saved the best for last, and boy, did they.
Oh.
The game is officially titled Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. It features every character that has ever been featured in the game, ever. And I didn't think that was possible. It completely blew me away. Also blowing me away was the visuals. The visuals look amazing. They look so much better than they did on Wii U. Like, it's not a port of a game. Like, that you can tell. If anybody that ever played the game on Wii U knows, the level of detail that the stages have, that the characters have, the level of texture that the characters have, like, it is impressive, to say the least. It is by far. I mean, they have been putting the work into this. It'll feature the biggest roster that's ever been featured. The roster will be unlockable. I still don't exactly know how many we start with. I've seen that we start with the N64 core. I've seen that we start with 25.
He said you may start with just as small as the original roster. He didn't really say, but then if you look at all the gameplay footage and the character select screen, it looked like they had at least 20 characters to start.
Yeah. But there'll be 65 in total, I think, is what the number
65 plus, because you have Echo Fighters, and those technically are additional different ones.
They also announced an official GameCube controller for Smash Brothers Ultimate, so they'll be doing that. So you can buy an adapter, which requires 2 USB ports, just like it did in Wii U, that you can plug 4 wired GameCube controllers into. We saw it on stage. I personally think that looks like a mess. It's just a gigantic mess of cords.
But they had wires for their Joy-Cons and everything, too.
That's not for
weird.
Me. Wired is better.
So Snake is coming back from Metal Gear. The Ice Climbers are back. Pichu's back. Young Link's back. The Pokemon Trainer is back. There's a girl version of the Pokemon Trainer. Cloud's back. Bayonetta's back. Corn's back. Ryu's back. I mean, they're all back. The Inklings make their debut, both boy and girl. Daisy makes her debut, which is freaking awesome. She looks amazing. And the big unveiling, the big surprise, was that Ridley from Metroid finally gets into the series. Much to fans of Smash Brothers for the longest time have been whining and complaining, Ridley's here, and from all the reports I saw on the show floor, Ridley's a boss. He packs a punch. Like, he's a beast. He's big. He has lots of attacks. He's got a lot of range, and he brings the heat.
Did y'all see that thing that was on Twitter that Sakurai, like, it's got him saying it's like, begs for Ridley, and then it's, Ridley can grind you across the map and then, like, kill you and stun you and like 50% health and everything. And it's like, don't ask me for anything ever again.
Don't ever ask me for anything again.
Actually, the one I saw said, don't effing ask me for anything again. But,
Yeah.
Again, I said it earlier and I'll say it again. This was a game I didn't think I could be surprised about. Yeah. And as you watch us live, we were all just like, no way. No way! No way! I mean, this is exactly what it says it is. This is the ultimate version of Super Smash Brothers. This is everything that the series has ever encompassed. And in a day and age where fighting games launch with like 8 characters, and you've got to buy characters 9 and 10 and 11 and 12, how anybody could throw a stone at this, even if it's not for you, I find hard to even fathom. There's 75 stages in this game. We still don't know about single player. I don't know if it's going to be there or not, but we don't know about it. We do know that all the amiibo are included, and we know that it will launch in December, which I think is a thorn in a lot of people's craw because everybody thought it was going to be September. Nintendo never told us it was going to be September. This is just what we thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. It's still this year. I mean, talk about a game giving you a lot of bang for the buck. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
This is huge. Yeah.
Dude, I still think we'll get DLC characters. I don't know.
I think so. I
don't know how long Sakurai wants to do this. I feel like this is his. He said several times before that he doesn't want to work on Smash anymore. He's done with Smash. I don't know. I feel like this is his final hurrah.
I mean, what
he's
else? What else can you
jumping
do
out.
with it? You can
At
throw in a
this
couple
point,
extra characters. There's
yeah.
nothing more you can do. I mean, it's literally everything. They went and redid and touched up Final Smashes. They changed them. So like Fox has the R-wings back. The Land Cruiser is gone.
Thank God.
We saw Ness's Final Smash has Jeff and Paul, Pooh and Paula
Paul and
show up,
Pooh, yeah.
which is awesome. And then they redid Lucas's with his sidekicks that nobody knows because we can't get Mother 2 over here.
Yeah.
So
Bayonetta gets Rodon. He's
I mean, it's,
Like, it was
Oh my
nuts.
God, Rodon was like, he's an assist, dude. I was so stoked about that.
Yes, I mean they really spent a lot of time on this. I mean, like you said, I don't really have a lot to say on it because what can you? They literally gave you everything.
They might drop the whole event, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, so yeah, they might do some single player stuff. Cool. There might be more DLC online. If they're not, then that's still fine. The December thing, I'm still okay with. Yeah, would I like it sooner? Sure, but I'm fine with it. But
before Christmas.
my only thing is so they expect us to pay for Nintendo Online service, and what's going to use Nintendo's online service?
Yeah. Well, here's
Splatoon still
before we get
Mario Kart.
before we get there, before we get what's coming up and all that, much to what you said earlier about how these people are looking just Nintendo first party and like supplying me with first party stuff. A lot of people are coming to the Switch ecosystem that haven't been here before. They don't realize that Nintendo has other directs, other announcements. There's more to come.
Totally.
Just like PSX, like we brought that up on the PSXB podcast. What did I say? This is an overcorrection for PSX.
Yep.
They've been dropping these mic drop moments at PlayStation for years. Eventually, you had to pay the piper, and that was this year. You can't keep doing it because games can't be made that fast. Well, those of you that are just coming to Nintendo that expect E3 to be the one time a year that they make news, they haven't been doing that in 5 years.
Yeah.
They'll have a fall direct that makes news. There'll be a game that comes out. They'll have something. They'll launch the service with Virtual Console.
We get an announcement like a month after saying, here's the NES Classic.
Yep. They'll throw stuff in there. Like, they will prime this engine all year round. It's more than just what PlayStation does with PSX because they do 4 or 5 of these a year. For this to be an E3, that's where I was going with my original statement. An E3 Direct like this was insane.
Huge.
I never thought we'd see half of what we saw. Like, I was blown away. I was like, this is incredible. And yeah, Smash coming out. As long as it's out before Christmas, it should be a huge sell. I think it's actually interesting that they're put it past Black Friday. Because while, the Black Friday sales, everybody buys stuff, I think everybody's going to buy this anyway. So if anything, Nintendo's probably making more money by putting it after Black Friday because everybody's going to buy it anyway. Yep. So just absolutely huge. But before we finalize our thoughts on the Direct already, Kevin, a lot of people are wondering what they get to play on their Nintendo Switch before Smash arrives in December. Why don't you let them know?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not a whole lot. So let's just go with June. So a couple things are already out now that we got our hands on. Sushi Striker, which I did purchase. Freaking love it. It's so good. It's such a different game off anything else you've played before. Like, it's a pseudo puzzle action game kind of thing, but fully voiceovers, very anime-esque, and I don't like anime, but this is funny, it's humorous, it's great. So don't sleep on Sushi Striker. Fallout Shelter's out. Paladins is available now if you buy the Founders Pack, but will be free to play later on the year. So Splatoon 2 Octo expansion, $20. They dropped the bomb saying, hey, it's out now. Ish. So yeah, it should be any minute.
It's out as of right now. You're listening to this.
Yeah, so 80 plus missions added, new stories, play as an Octoling. You beat single player, you get Octolings and multiplayer to come out. Amiibo 3-pack is coming out this fall. Splatoon 2 is now getting updates through December when it was previously supposed to end in July. So they continue to give us new weapons, new maps, new courses. Then Donnie's favorite Soccer Slammers is out tomorrow as of we recording this. June 21st, we get Minecraft and Pode expansion there. Minecraft, whatever. Mario Tennis Aces is out June 22nd. Mario & Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure June 26th. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus June 29th. Crash Bandicoot June 29th. That's just June.
That's just June. The rest of June.
Well, we got nothing. We got nothing to play. July, it's a little bit slower in July, but we're getting Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which I'm excited to see what people think of that, because if you didn't have a Wii U, you didn't play it. Great game. I loved it. My kids loved it. My wife loved it. It was a big hit in my house. More people are going to get to play it now, which is another win for Nintendo. And Sleep Tight comes out July 26th.
I played Sleep Tight at MomoCon, and it's a great, fun little tower defense game that is catching a lot of waves. IGN wrote up a great piece on it. They call it the next indie darling. So I'm excited for other people to finally see what it is, because I think when people start seeing the trailers, when Nintendo drops their eShop update, I think that'll catch people's attention.
Yeah,
Totally. And Octopath Traveler is on July 13th as well, so same day as Captain Toad. So something for everybody that day. Moving on to August, Okami HD hits on the 9th. Hopefully that runs and operates a little bit better than some of these other Okami HDs did on PS4 and Xbox. But Little Dragons Cafe comes out August 24th. Caroline and I are both excited about that one, so we'll be playing that one. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate will be out August 28th, and Dark Souls is dated for summer, so it's going to fall sometime between that June and August timeline. I think it's going to be in August at this point, so I think they would have said if it was going to be sooner. September hits, so the fall, we're getting some sports games, getting FIFA 19 on September 28th. NBA 2K is also in September, no date yet. And the SNK Heroines is out on September 7th. If you're into those kind of things, it's a hashtag Donnie game, scantily clad anime girls fighting each other. Yeah, too. Moving on to October, we get Mega Man 11 is dropping October 2nd. Starlink Battle of Atlas is dropping October 16th. And it wouldn't be a holiday season without Just Dance 2019 drops on October 23rd, which we had a very lengthy dance number at the beginning of Ubisoft's conference. The rest of the things that are announced that we know we're getting, but not necessarily a date yet. Arena of Valor is hitting sometime in the fall. PixARK fall. Ark Survival Involved is coming to the Switch also in the fall. The World Ends With You, Wasteland 2, Dragon Ball FighterZ, all hitting that fall window. I don't know how to even pronounce this one. Carcassonne?
Yeah.
Okay. Holiday
Board
2018.
game. Yep.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So yeah, so Ninjala is dropping in spring, and we know Yoshi is coming sometime in 2019 as well.
Ninjala was an interesting title that they showcased in the Direct. It was like the Splatoon type button masher action game.
I right away I was like, is this a Splatoon thing? But yeah, that dropped there too. And keep in mind, Nintendo, like we said, there's more Directs coming this year, so they will announce more stuff. And they flat out said you'll hear more about Yoshi later.
And there's games that aren't even on this list that I thought of while you were running through them. So like Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again is 2018. Mark of the Ninja remasters 2018. I believe Nidhogg 2 is 2018. Inside and
Pokemon 2018 not on this list.
Inside and Firewatch are coming. Shakedown Hawaii is coming. War Groove, Hyper Light Drifter, all these indies that we were thinking, they're all coming. And we'll probably have another Direct in the fall. There's a ton of games. There's so many games.
No, there's nothing to play on Switch, guys.
In June, like right now, there's so many games. There's so many games you can play right now. You don't have to pay money for. You can just get some demos and stuff.
There's nothing for me.
What a great time to be in the Nintendo ecosystem. Like I took a picture yesterday of my Switch. The first 6 titles of my Switch are brand new. These are games I haven't played. They're just all the stuff I just downloaded yesterday. It was insane. There's a ton of stuff. And yeah, Soccer Slammers comes out tomorrow, and I'll be buying that one too. That's just there's a lot here. It's going to take a minute to chew through all this. The Octoling expansion, like you mentioned, they showcased that in the Splatoon tournament afterwards. Yeah. I was expecting that. We were talking about live stream in late July, August. They fit it in. There's 80 single player missions. 80.
It's crazy.
80. That's crazy. If you played 10 a day, which is a lot to do, it'd take you a week.
I'm pretty sure it's more than Splatoon 1 and 2 combined, right?
So I think they had, like about 40 each.
Yeah,
and they all look super different.
It could be its own game.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yep, and they really do look super different. They showcased it today on Treehouse.
They should have made a physical event. I'd have bought it.
Yeah, right? You could have 2 separate cards.
$20. You can't beat it. $20.
Yep, and you get new gear, new loot, and if you beat all the single player stuff, you unlock Octoling to go on multiplayer. So go get that bragging rights.
We're getting Octoling Amiibo, and I called it. Did I not call it?
Yep, you get the Octoling 3-pack.
They're all the same color, though, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
So back to wrap up our final thoughts. I mean, guys, seriously, coming back to where I started, I was blown away. This Direct was more than I possibly could imagine. And I thought it was interesting because there were so many people telling us to put our expectations in check. And this did so much for me, and like above and beyond. So even that Starlink game, which I've been, questioning Seth about, because when they showcased it, I just saw, here's another Skylanders, toy cash grab. Even the enemies look very Skylander-ish.
Totally. Yep.
But as the previews come from the show floor, as people put their hands on it, apparently it's pretty good. Especially if you have especially if you have kids. Apparently it's like RPG light space game. But you can fly down to planets, very No Man's Sky, so you can leave and go in orbit, which is cool. Kids love doing that. but you can go down on the surface. You can attack enemies, you can farm animals, you can farm resources. That type of stuff is super fun. The reason I said that, my son played Lego Worlds. That was his favorite part of Lego Worlds. He loved like blasting off into space and leaving the atmosphere and going to.
I was going to ask him, like, where did your research? Do you know kids love blasting in and out of
Little Jack.
Like,
I'm sorry, it's just my single experience with my kids gave me that opinion. But I mean, I remember when No Man's Sky released and Seth streamed, I showed that game to Jack, and he watched him play it for like an hour. It was like something that my son was into. So having known that and having seen the reactions from the show floor, I posted some impressions pieces. A lot of people that put their hands on it say, hey, this game is probably better than you thought it was. If you thought this was a cash grab Toys to Life game, it's not. And that's what I needed to hear. So I'm putting that on the list for the Christmas tree. So I was blown away. Kevin, what did you think, man? Now that it's all over with, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I said a lot of my thoughts at the top of this one. I think they delivered a lot there. Now, do I want more core titles? Yes. Would I have loved to see? And one more thing, yes. We didn't get that. And Xbox did that very well with their final thing, with Cyberpunk. So, and then Sony did a great job with what they focused on there too. But overall, I can't really complain. There's so much coming that I'm literally looking at and I'm like, man, I don't know. I've always heard in podcasts and even some of you guys sitting there saying, like, there's so many games I don't have time to play.
Yeah.
Now that this year I got the Xbox, Switch wasn't a big problem for me before because it's like, okay, there's these couple core titles I'm going to play through and I'll play them, but then I still have my PlayStation to play. Now I have this ecosystem with all these games here. I physically cannot keep up. So now I'm sitting here saying, like, I want, let's say 40-50% of this list of games that we just went through. I'm never going to have time to play that. So it's like, okay, which do I prioritize and which do I buy? Because there's no point buying them all for full retail when by the time I get around to them, some of them might be less than that. So it's tough. And I mean, these indie things are coming crazy, and the digital thing like Starlink, I did not want Starlink. You put Fox in it, I want Starlink. It's as simple as that, and it's as stupid as that.
We didn't even talk about that.
But the thing is, I honestly, I don't want the $75 pack. I just want the game. Like they said, you don't need to get the toys to have this stuff. I'll just buy the game. If I can buy the game digital for less, I'm going to do that. It's fine. But I do just want to play it. And that's the thing is just time is going to not be my friend for the next unforeseeable future, I think, between Xbox's Game Pass and everything just hitting that, and then Nintendo doing all this stuff, and then Sony's big core titles. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, for me, the Nintendo Direct was definitely in the top 3 presentations easily. It's tough 1 and 2 spot for me, to be honest, but I think it's up there. I think it's in the top 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Xbox brought the house, so I'd probably put it right behind Xbox. Xbox really showed out in a major way, but I mean, Nintendo did everything they could to showcase that the Switch is a healthy system. And like I said, when they come out with that Direct, I know that Direct's coming, and like there'll be another Direct in like September or October, and we'll all be like, see?
Probably in August.
See? We told you, and then people will start changing their minds. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. It's going to be nuts. Like you said, June, July, packed. We were packed already just the next 2 months. Crazy.
I posted earlier, I'm getting anxiety. I have no idea what I'm going to do with all, like, I don't have the time.
You're just going to keep playing keep playing Xenoblade. It's just going to be more Xenoblade for the next year. Your weekly check-in, just Xenoblade.
I need to pull myself away from Fortnite, and I can't because I'm like, I have all these other things I need to play.
By the way, Fortnite is huge. Like, this is such a big deal. I checked. I was playing Hollow Knight earlier, and I checked my time, my friends list. Everybody is playing Fortnite. Everybody. That's all everybody's doing.
Dude, 125 million players, and then
2 million people downloaded Fortnite on the Switch since yesterday.
Less than a day.
That's insane.
And then they announced today, we had heard about it rumored before, but Epic is putting up $100 million on the line for their World Cup, their Fortnite World Cup, through all these different events that are going on across the country. I've already said, I'm signing up. I am in, but this is not going away, and that's... As much as I love it, it's a problem for me because I want to play other things. I'm literally sitting here saying, okay, here's my week. Monday I will play this. Tuesday I will play this. Wednesday I will play, and I need to stick to that so I can get through some of these games. Like it's insane.
That's why I'm glad Fortnite does not appeal to me, because I can't get invested into something like that.
No, it's horrible. It's World of Warcraft.
That's what I'm saying.
World of Warcraft. That's
what
Fortnite.
I'm saying. It's an MMO, and my MMO ship has sailed a long time ago.
Caroline, any last thoughts?
Dude, I mean, I think my enthusiasm yesterday and was just kind of, I've come down. I've kind of like just gotten exhausted from screaming. While I am like, 2 days ago, I was like thinking, okay, Animal Crossing in the morning, right? Animal Crossing in the morning. And it's not happening. But, this time next year, we've got to hear about something about an Animal Crossing title, you would think.
We'll see. I'm still not sold on that.
I'm still blown away. Like, I mean, like I said, people take advantage of how incredible we have it right now, and they just don't think that we have it that great. And whatever, my game library says different. I can't find the time to play all of this stuff, and it just keeps coming. And I'm thankful for it. And I think it was a very fulfilling E3. It's like finishing Thanksgiving dinner and you're stuffed and you're like, what do I do now?
That's a good analogy. As another person that owns all the consoles, I'm with Kevin. Like, I think this E3 is probably the best E3 I've ever seen. Like, I literally came away with 50 games that I feel like I want to buy to play. Like, that's never really been the case before. I've seen a lot of games that looked interesting, but this E3, I saw a lot of games that I want to play. Like, I want to play those games, and it's just, wow.
And this E3 had a lot of games that are actually coming this year or early next year.
Yeah.
This year, this E3 wasn't a lot of like, hey, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, with the exception of like Death Stranding and like Halo. I think everything else is like, well, Spider-Man's in 2 months. So
Yeah,
it's like,
we're in that sweet spot where the consoles have been out long enough that the pipeline is starting to fill up, and now stuff's starting to release. Whereas the last 3 years we've been waiting for stuff. Now that time has come.
Yeah. And you may argue that, like, okay, presentation wise, it wasn't the best E3.
There you go.
But the content that was given to us was fantastic.
Even EA's content was great.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Like, we may not like the way it came to Square Enix, same thing. We may not like the way it was done, but hello, they're delivering the goods within the next calendar year right now. This is what we're getting. Almost everything we're seeing is most likely going to be in our sweaty little palms in 12 months.
Yep.
Gross.
So that's it. That's our E3 recap from the Nintendo Shack. Thank you for joining us once again. Follow us over there on the Twitter at PSVG. You can subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com PSVG podcast. Always visit us at psvg.blog. We've got links over there. You can find all of us. Join the Discord and stay very aware and acutely tuned in to what we're doing, as over the next few weeks, we have some certain announcements to make. Some things are happening. So definitely tune in. With that, I'm going to say sayonara. So that's it for us over here at the Nintendo Shack. Once again, thank you for tuning in. And remember, boys and girls, never stop gaming.
This has been a production of the Play Some Video Games Podcast Network.